you're over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
They have to do that. Our people don't.
I was looking over the thing, man. We all see what's going on with Kanye West,
Right.
and I seen a petition, and let me look it up because apparently there's a petition going on with Coachella, and it's calling for the removal of Kanye West from 2022's lineup, and now that petition has passed 30,000 signatures. Now, in a description for the change.org petition, which has ties, it makes sense now, that Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson's fan account on Instagram. Petition organizer Carmela Marie said Coachella and other entities should be ashamed of themselves for associating with Kanye. The petition also argues that West has recently been threatening actual bodily harm on others. At the time of the writing, the signature count was at 30,205 with a goal of 35,000. In a recent update shared by the petition page, the organizer said, supporters can also find us on Instagram via the aforementioned Kardashian and Davidson page. Kim and Pete updates. The saga continues. Oh, God, I got a couple things to say. Before I do, man, what's your thoughts on that, brother?
I mean, first of all, when you just look at the hypocrisy in the whole situation, first with the whole, I'm going to start here with the whole Coachella. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a lot of rappers that's going to be that's going on Coachella's lineup, that songs are about threatening people, doing all this, moving things to the hood and all that. So, I mean, don't put that up as the reason why, Kanye West, you don't want Kanye West performing at Coachella. And we also talk about the Grammys. They don't want him at the Grammys as well. And it seemed like it's a little bit of, the powers that be now, or whatever people want to call them, are now coming together and forming Voltron on Kanye West to kind of start hitting them in the pockets. As Dr. Boyce Watkins said, economic sanctions. Because we know in America, let's just keep it real, man, when you look at, they don't really like people like that. That's, first of all, this dude is a self-made, almost, according to him, he's a billionaire. And I believe he's definitely, if not there, getting close. You know what I mean? But says whatever he wants. Like, he's not really confined in, like, you can't put him inside of a box, so to say. He might come out and say anything. He might come out and say Larry Hoover. He gonna come out in some crazy gloves. And, if you're listening to the dude, some people will say, oh, damn, dude is kind of aloof. But then you got the other people like, nah, I can see the genius in that. Yep. You know what I mean? Who Kanye West is. So I think he just went a little bit too far on whatever he's doing. The more outspoken he is, the more that he can't be contained, the more that he's self-made entrepreneur and just kind of free. They don't kind of like that. And when I say they, I mean the powers that be, the people that run the big corporations and the things, that you got to go through to make the monies and things like that. They just don't like that. And I think they don't, and we was even talking about this with Monique. You can't be outspoken. You can't be, independent. You can't be, free like that. You got to kind of be like timid, shy, and kind of going along just to get along and not really going to call nothing out that you see that's wrong, in my opinion. But I'll let you rock out, and then I'll give a little bit more at the end of that.
Kanye, man, he, like you said, he's been doing this for the beginning of time. And at first, a lot of people loved it when he was calling George Bush out with Katrina. And you talked about New Orleans a couple minutes ago, and we see what's going on with New Orleans right now. Prayers out to the people down there in New Orleans. George Bush doesn't like black people. People hated that shit. Some people love that shit. But we knew Ye at that time was going to speak his heart. Now, does he say some things off the cuff? Yeah, one can maybe think so, if that's what we think and deem is off the cuff, because we're watching on social media and we're watching personal things unfold in front of our eyes that really are none of our business. Let's break this down for what it is. He's arguing with his ex-wife on social media, and he's arguing with her new jump off on social media, and people basing their opinions off of who they like more against who they don't like more.
And he's antagonizing him too. The jump off dude talking about he in a bed with his wife.
Beating him up.
Right.
Beating him up verbally.
Right.
The whole DL shit, then DL jumps into it and has the conversation, and then he throws his address out. I didn't agree with that, but I agree with everything else.
Right.
Because DL was on some fuck shit. We just got to call that for what it was. He really was. He had no business out here talking about that man's personal life. You want to talk about his business and what he does on the records and what he says, like, you know what I mean? Go there. But what he's talking about with his family, come on, bro. We all got things in our family. And I doubt as men, anybody wants any of us to sit back and personally talk and jab about what we got going on with our family. So for you to do that, I think that was against code. But you did it, and it was what it was. You talked about them trying to sanction him financially. This is the real interesting part about this, because you look at how silly it all is, how we're taking away Grammys because of him going against personal bouts on Instagram. And now you're talking about Coachella, which is money, and then sanctions and shit. Why is it that deep? Is it because he's outspoken? Is it because he's reaching billionaire status? Is it because he, although maybe saying some wild shit, is against that status quo and sitting back and being quiet and letting massa go ahead and tell me what to do on my way to making $1 million? Now, fuck that. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to be a billionaire. Because I don't see them taking away us throwing guns on each other on Instagram Live and them going wild and doing it. I don't see them, like you said, going ahead and 9 out of them 10 acts that's going to be on hip hop is either talking about promoting drug use or killing somebody and knocking some op's head off. And ain't no op sitting in no $1 billion chair. They sitting right next to the brother they calling a op. So it's a lot of hypocrisy, man. I don't like it, and it's some real cynical shit going on. Powers that be is a good word. Right. You know what I mean? Sanctions are good. It's weird, bro.
Yeah, nah, man. I think we kind of answering it as we kind of going through this. We kind of seeing, because we kind of seeing that what the reason that they giving is just silly. Because you said, you know what I mean? All these other people that's going to be up there is promoting way worse stuff than Kanye West ever did. Not that we say that we don't agree with that, but the dude, like, you know, people going through breakups and shit gets crazy.
Yeah, weird.
Shit gets wild.
You don't know what you're gonna do when your heart's tore up.
Right, dude talking about he in the bed with his wife and shit like that. Like, the dude is probably like everything he's doing, he probably means. Then you got DL sticking his damn nose in his business and shit, and it's like it's just to antagonize and get this guy going crazy, man. You know, I know how it could be hard for people to believe, like, oh yeah, this is the boogeyman stuff when you guys talk about the powers that be, and I get it how that's crazy, but all I gotta do is look at how they did other people. Not to say that these people didn't have skeletons in their closet, but it just seems like when you see a pattern, I just think it's something that you gotta just, you know, start believing some shit. If somebody steals from you once, twice, 3 times, like, all right, maybe the first time they ain't mean it. Second, third, fourth, oh goddamn,
this nigga's a thief.
Right, this nigga's a damn thief. So you know, I don't know how far this is going to go, but when you start seeing stuff like this, to me, it's like a control mechanism in order to tell somebody, all right, calm down, like Nick Cannon. I'm gonna pull you back by the, you know what I'm saying? You start to get a little too crazy, nah, calm down. That's what I think this tactic is, and you know, hopefully that I'm wrong, but it just don't make any sense to me, man.
I was going to ask you the why, and you just answered the why, right? For me, you answered the why they doing this for me, right? Kanye is not like Nick Cannon. That's no disrespect to Nick Cannon, because Nick Cannon's a good brother, and he's put on a lot of people, and he's doing a lot of great things. But one thing that's very different between him and Kanye is Kanye's never been afraid to say what he wants to say. And is this going to stop him? I doubt it. So how far does this shit go, oh God? Because it's silly as it is. We talking personal bullshit, and they doing all this. Kanye ain't going to stop. I mean, they shut his Instagram off. They Donald Trumping him right now. Well, how far does this go? Because Kanye ain't stopping.
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. My thing is with Kanye, love the guy, but I'm not, you know, necessarily putting him in the category of a Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or Fred. I'm nowhere near putting him in it. I think that he may agree with some of those people's ideology, but I'm not putting him anywhere. I just see that he is just somebody who just can't be controlled by the status quo. He just can't be, like I said, put into a place where you could say, okay, we know that D.L. Hughley, he only going to do this, he only going to do that. Like, he ain't, if this thing come up, D.L. Hughley ain't going to say shit. We know that. We know Steve Harvey. We know certain people's like, they ain't them people. Kanye, like, you on the stage with George Bush, how many dudes is actually saying that? As insignificant as it may have seemed at the time, it was just needed to be said because it was real. After people in New Orleans, they felt the same way. But you rarely get people, you know what I mean, who going to say, like Kanye said, I'm on the stage, they're talking like it's you and me. You rarely going to get people that's gonna, you know, and I think we got to just cherish the fact that we have somebody that's just going to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said, despite of, in my opinion.
And that ain't putting this dude on a pedestal,
Right.
weirdos. We're not sitting there idolizing
Right.
the weirdos. That's simply respecting the fact that he's not afraid to say what he wants to say, whether we agree with it all the time or not.
Right.
It's power in that. It's power in the freedom of just going, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say what I want. I like Donald Trump. I do this. I'm going to do that. No, this slavery was a choice. What the fuck? Yeah, it was. Whoa. Doesn't matter. He's going to say what he wants to say. And it's dope. He doesn't want his daughter on TikTok. And he's going to say it physically for everybody in the world to hear it. I don't like this. Oh, yeah, DL, where's your address? Like,
right.
As crazy as some of these things sound, and we may not agree with all of it, it's like, dog. I appreciate the fearlessness, man.
Another part that I think you hit the nail on the head with when you talked about the different rappers and how they never shutting them down from promoting the drugs, the gang violence, the things like that. They will never, ever, ever in their life they'll shut that down. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll promote that, but they know that Kanye West, he ain't even necessarily pushing that, and they know that influence is influence. And if Dirk can influence, the baby, little baby can influence, damn sure Kanye West can. So if we promote these dudes that's toxic to us, and let's destroy the dudes that's not toxic, and then we got something there. You know what I mean? Because we know that Kanye West could change some shit, saying something or doing something could really influence him by changing something, can influence people to do better, just like them other dudes do. Negative and positive influence, man, is there.
You know what's crazy about all this? We seen, and look, it is what it is. NBA YoungBoy put "You Gon' Die" in $100 bills, going back and forth with Lil Durk, two people in the industry that have so much influence but have blood on their hands. And I'm not saying that they were out here pulling triggers themselves. We don't know what we don't know, right? But a lot of people around them close have passed away due to shit that has gone on within personal that they've intermingled within hip hop that we all get to watch and indulge and see, and fans get to watch and indulge and take in. And I don't see none of, I don't see them going, and I don't want to take any bread out of nobody's pocket. Right. But why, NBA YoungBoy, Lil Durk, now y'all gonna get taken off Coachella. Y'all gotta get this shit cleared up. And until y'all physically get this shit cleared up, y'all ain't making no money with us, because we can't have all this violence bleed into the streets where our youth and our people are getting killed. But nah, I don't see none of that shit.
See, the thing is, like, we want to turn a blind eye to shit. Like, we don't want to act like that Dirt, every song he making about gang violence and running down ops. Like, we think that since we're talking in a different language and we got slang from Chicago, Tennessee, New York, that people don't, like, we can't interpret what these dudes are saying. Anybody with their right mind can interpret what these dudes are saying. And the crazy part about it, yeah, it could be entertainment sometimes, but not when there's bodies dropping.
Real bodies falling.
Real bodies. And I heard academics saying, he was like, he said people want to hear Dirk talk this gangster shit. Like, they don't want to hear Dirk talking about, you know, what he's wearing and the Montclair and the shit and the Balmain and all the, Armani, whatever that shit's called, Amiri that people wear. Yeah. I want to hear him talking about boom, boom, hit an op in the head, boom, boom, fuck this girl. That's what they want to hear.
Till he's dead and they got a shirt on, rest in peace, unfortunately.
Right. Then everybody's crying and saying how sad it was. So I think that's the elephant in the room with hip hop. Yeah, it could be entertainment sometimes, but a lot of these guys is, like we said before, toxic and preaching death to the youth, man. And that's just what it is. And I think somebody has to step up and say, see, we're not going to be on here like other podcasts and having these dudes on and sucking them off. We're going to keep it real. Anytime even if we talk to dudes, we're going to keep it real. We're going to ask them about, what do you think about your negative influence on the youth? We ain't going to sit up here and suck these dudes off and shit.
And ain't coming with no disrespect. It's coming with love.
Real talk.
And some real brotherhood shit. Like, yo, you want to smoke? Let's smoke. You want to eat what you want? You want to drink? Let's drink. Let's have a chill.
Right.
Get you know what I mean, wherever you got to go. But when we get behind this microphone, bro, we got to ask you some questions that's going on, because, you know what I mean, whether you know you're doing it or not, it's going on. And how do you feel about that shit, my nigga? Why is it going on? Like Freddie P said, they really didn't care about him till things started going on. I don't know to what extent Freddie P was on, but he had a point. You know what I mean? The shit's kind of the way this industry moves. Yeah. All right, academics, you say don't know. Oh, so you influencing the fact that you want him to keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this until he's the one that has the shirt on, unfortunately, saying rest in peace. And then we're going to have all this stuff. And then we're going to have, like, we got King Von out here right now with the #1 album that he can't even see, get to experience, and get to feel. because he did it because of the fact that he's no longer here and we got to see it and watch it on TV. How fucking traumatic is that, man?
It's dysfunction, walking dysfunction everywhere, and nobody will call it out because either one, they want to continue to benefit off of it, and two, it's just like they don't want to go against. They want to be buddy with people. They don't want to call out this person because they may think one day they may get an opportunity to do whatever. I don't know with them. You know what I mean? It's not like we're standing on a pedestal because we got flaws and shit too. But it takes real men to stand up and say enough is enough. In hip hop, and that's what we got to do here, man.
Yeah, and it's a difference between telling your truth and telling your story and glorifying something.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Point. Talk about the pain. If we felt the pain in that shit, like I was showing my son Suicide by Biggie, you know what I'm saying? And the lyrics are very poison. And you listen to it, it's poison. But then if you dig deeper into what that brother was going through, it's like somebody can relate to that and hopefully change the fact that they were going through something. You out here targeting ops and popping perks.
Right.
And feeling, you know what I mean? It's like.
And I was watching this thing, what's the name of the joint? I think it's called Crime Circus, right? And it's pretty much, it'll be inside the room when the police are interrogating people and shit. And they had these dudes out of Atlanta. It was like 3 or 4 dudes. They supposedly killed, a person, and the cop. They showed like the whole interrogation and shit. I was just hooked on this shit the last 2 days. I don't know why, but he was talking to him, and they came in there. Their demeanor was tough at first. By the time the hour and a half went past, this dude broke these dudes down to a couple of these dudes crying on the phone for their mama because they was like 19 years old. Damn. I'm saying all that to say it's like they being influenced to do one thing, and then when they get in a situation, because one dude didn't actually do nothing, but he was withholding information about the murder. Yeah. So the detective put the little slip, like, now you're being charged with accessory to murder. Like, now you're facing life in prison. He said, you know what I'm saying? He's like, remember this moment. Remember this moment when you think about doing something stupid, when you think about going to do this or stealing a car or shooting somebody. Remember how you crying on your phone? Because he called their mom or whatever, grandma, and they crying on the phone. You know what I mean? And you got a dead body, and these dudes don't want to go to jail because they're 19 years old. He told the dude, make sure you remember this moment. And that needs to be the message. Like you say, like, all right, not that it's being glorified, but you're telling people, okay, yeah, I did this and did this, but this is what happened. This shit, I was crying in my damn jail cell.
Imagine hearing bars about that.
Right.
That's where I thought Meek was going. And I don't mean to bring Meek up. When I think about them Dream Chaser albums, and I think about the storytelling, or Dream Chaser mixtape, excuse me, the storytelling that he was going, man. I was like, this gave me chills, because I'm like, now we're going to get a real side of this shit that don't always got to be tough, bold, killing somebody. Nah, I was in a situation where I almost faced life, and my ass was scared.
Right.
I was facing life, and dude was throwing stuff at me, and I had a choice on whether to do this or do that, and I wasn't no dude. So, yeah, I told, you a rat in the street, and we talk about rat this or rat that, but I'd rather hear authentic shit than for you to fake it and then be something totally different behind the scenes, man. And this is what I don't like, because you're promoting a fake image like you so eloquently put on camera to kids that are influenced by this shit, and then they get in real life situations, and they ain't ready for it.
Nowhere to be found. Ain't nowhere to be found.